Okay, we're going to look at balancing equations. This is quite high up on a lot of people's revision lists or things they find really difficult. So I'm just going to show you a strategy to kind of go through it nice and slowly, nice and ploddy, and hopefully you feel a bit more confident. So, we're going to look at the first question. We've got methane reacting with oxygen, and that forms carbon dioxide and water. So we've got our fuel here, with oxygen, and I've got our classic combustion products of carbon dioxide and water. Any hydrocarbon combusting in oxygen with plenty of oxygen is going to make carbon dioxide and water. If we didn't have enough oxygen, we'd make carbon monoxide. Anyway, let's have first step on balance equation, tally up what you have. So if we look at the carbon, we've got one carbon this side. So I'm going to write that I've got one atom of carbon. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogens, and I've got 2 oxygens. And I'm going to do the same on the product side. I've got 1 carbon, I've got 2 hydrogen, and I've got 1, 2, 3 oxygens. Now looking at my tallies, I can see I've got the same number of carbon atoms on both the reactant and the product side, so they're effectively happy. The hydrogens, I've got more hydrogen on this side than I do on the products, and the reactants, I've got more on this side than on the reactant side. So I'm going to balance up the hydrogens first, I think. Now, when you're balancing an equation, you can only change the ratios if you're given the full equation. So I can only put numbers in these places I've underlined. So, if I want to get 4 hydrogen on this side, I need to double the number of water molecules. That now gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogen. I now have 1, 2 oxygen, plus these 2, I've now got 4 oxygens. So looking at that, my carbons are still balanced, they've not been affected. The hydrogens are balanced, but my oxygens are still unbalanced, and I need 2 more on this side. And so I can, the only place I've got oxygen is here, so that's my only option is to double that number, 2, and I now have a balanced equation. Right, I'm going to go for another one now. Let's look at magnesium oxygen. So this is the reaction. You might see magnesium ribbon burning in the Bunsen flames, or the bright white light, the one you can't look at directly. You may have also done this reaction in a crucible, where you lift the lid and it glowed, and you measured the mass, change in mass. Right, tally up my atoms again. I've got 1 magnesium on this side. I've got 2 oxygen. And on my product side, I've got 1 magnesium and I've got 1 oxygen. So I've got the same number of magnesium atoms on each side, but I have more oxygen this side than on that side. So I'm going to put a 2 here, and that's going to give me 2 magnesium atoms now and 2 oxygens. The oxygens are now balanced. Now this quite often happens. I now have more on one side and they were previously balanced, so I'm going to adjust it on this side. I'm going to put a 2 here, and my equation is now balanced. Right, the next one has a few more steps to it, so we're going to have to take our time looking at this one. Right, so we need to tally up our atoms. So we've got sodium, nitrogen, oxygen on both sides of the equation. It would be a good idea if you wanted to pause the video, you could do the tally yourself before seeing what I write down. Okay, let's tally up the reactants. I've got 1, 2 sodium, I've got 1 nitrogen, and I've got 1, 2, 3 oxygens. This subscript 3 here only affects the thing immediately to its left. So it's just the oxygen, not the nitrogen. Right, on this side, we've got 2 sodium, 2 nitrogen, and only 1 oxygen. So having a look, I can see my sodiums are balanced, my nitrogens aren't balanced, and my oxygens aren't balanced. Right, I'm just going to work my way down this, so I'm going to balance the nitrogen first. I need to get 2 nitrogens on this side. So I'm going to put a 2 here, the same place I've got nitrogen, and that's going to times everything in front of it by 2. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 sodiums, 1, 2 nitrogens, and I had 3 oxygens times by 2. I'm now going to have 6 oxygens. So my next task is I'm now going to balance. I've got balanced nitrogen. I'm going to pick to balance the oxygen next. So I need to, I've got 6 on this side, got 1 on this side, I need to put a 6 here. Now that's going to fix my oxygen, but it also affects the sodium. So I had 2, effectively times everything in front of it by 2. I now have 12 sodiums. Now if I look at my little tallies, oxygen's happy, nitrogen's happy, sodium's not happy. I need to get 12 on this side. So I've got 1, 2 here, so I need another 10. So if I put 1, 0 there, that gives me 10 sodiums there, plus another 2, gives me 12, and that is now balanced. Okay, so I've gone through 3 examples now. I'm going to show you 3 equations that you can have a go at balancing yourself. So, I would say pause the video, have a go at these yourself, lay out a systematic approach, tally up your atoms, then have a go. Right, I'm going to presume you have balanced all these. These you just want to check your answers. So, let's have a look. Here's what I prepared earlier. There are your answers there. Okay, if you want some more practice, if you go at your Parkley school, if you go onto this shared area and Science and Miss Willie's Science folder and go to GCSE, you'll find about 50, 60 of these equations there for you to balance with answers. Well done.